people who are here and wish to bring you greetings.
Oh, no.
One of them is Rob Davis. Rob graduated not very long ago from Michigan State University, an outstanding student in advertising. And Beth is Rob's adoring aunt, which is Rob's problem. And Rob has just flown in from Chicago, where he is working in advertising and wishes to greet you in the presence of all of us.
Uh-oh.
Rob?
I'd like to point out that my mom wrote my bio and she'll be handing out copies of my resume.
If they'd asked me, I would have said better things.
I'd also like to point out, as I begin here, that unlike the other speakers, or most of the other speakers here who've lined up to slam Beth here tonight, I actually have an excuse for putting up with her over the years. She's my family. I thought then that I'd take this opportunity to give everyone a glimpse of Beth's more personal and familial side.
Oh, God.
My earliest memories of Aunt Beth involve a sadistic code she invented when I was very young called Aunt Beth Rules. Aunt Beth Rules basically mean that she can taunt, terrorize, and inflict as much pain on me as she desires, while my role is basically to accept it. An unprovoked noogie attack, a sharp squirt gun blast to the eye. This has been going on for about 20 years, and I've only recently realized that there's really only two rules. One, she can do whatever she wants, and two, I can't.
It's true.
It's taken me this long to realize that Aunt Beth rules probably aren't in my best interest. I would like to say, though, that my therapy's coming along nicely. The nightmares have finally stopped. Aunt Beth does, of course, have her compassionate side, which is probably best exemplified by her touching personal philosophy that if you can't laugh at the handicap, then who can you laugh at?
Actually, that's a grand check statement. That's Rick's statement.
I learned it from you, Beth.
Credit where credit is due. Aunt Beth can also be a woman of extreme empathy. I remember a time one St. Patrick's Day when I was about 6 or 7 years old that Beth and Bill were babysitting me. They let me overload on McDonald's for dinner. Well, I ended up puking up a lovely combo of French fries and Shamrock Shake. And rather than simply cleaning it up as most motherly types would, Beth wanted to share in the experience with me. So she puked up her own Shamrock Special right on top of mine. And then she left them both for her husband to do. I think probably the truly distinguishing trait of Aunt Beth, though, is her sense of adventure. I got to experience this firsthand when I drove across country with the two of them after my college graduation. This 3-week camping trip, incidentally, would have taken about 4.5 days once you subtract Aunt Beth's pee breaks. I think she must have set a goal out for herself when she was very young to make sure that she saw every highway rest stop in America. God knows she's very, very close. At any rate, most of this camping trip was spent with Cooler Boy, that's me, lugging around about 80 pounds of sliced turkey and baby carrots, while Miss Wilderness here traversed the Badlands of South Dakota wearing flip-flops with a cigarette dangling. And when she wasn't enforcing the carrot rationing with Gestapo-like efficiency, she was perpetually dragging us out of bed early in order to get back on the road. Rather than simply calling it 4:30 a.m., Uncle Bill and I deemed our morning daily start times as Oh Dark 30, after a science fiction novel about a renegade society that traveled in the middle of the night. Because when Beth is excited about something, there is no waiting until tomorrow. No, Beth is definitely not into delayed gratification. To her, any day after Thanksgiving is open game to open Christmas gifts. While most people have a birthday, Beth has a self-declared birth month. Buy me, take me, give me. The rally cry of the Arnavit sisters. And in fact, the great irony in roasting Aunt Beth is that in our family, every day is really a roast. Ours is no place for the weak of ego. And so in a final ironic twist, I just want to take a quick moment here, amongst all the jokes and the jabs and the layers of sarcasm, to turn just a bit serious and convey how much Aunt Beth means to me. Probably without even knowing it, Beth has been instrumental in shaping my worldview. She's a model of composure, confidence, and compassion, while never straying too far from childlike playfulness and a razor-sharp wit. She's taught me to have fun, to play fair, to break some rules, but to always stay true to your cause, and above all, to unconditionally hand over your heart to those you love most. Aunt Beth, here's my heart.
I think we've gained some new insight.
Don't let anyone else speak, okay?
I think we've all experienced Aunt Beth's rules. This is Bob.
I am Beth's brother-in-law, and I want to start with an apology, not for being your brother-in-law, Beth, but for making a confession. I am not your scheduled speaker. I'm a last-minute stand-in for Newt Gingrich, who wanted to be here. Newt desperately wanted to be here, but he's busy working on his new 3 Strikes and You're Dead. I too know Beth primarily on a personal level, and I'll leave it to others to give her accolades, well-deserved accolades on the professional level, but I think I can bring to this proceeding some insight as to her character and her adult behavior. I'd like to title my brief remarks, Beth Arnovitz, The Early Years. I am sure this will only enhance your admiration for Beth once you know the many obstacles that she overcame in her early childhood. It's not a well-known fact, but Beth's mother, my sainted mother-in-law, Helen, developed a severe addiction to the hula hoop in the 1950s while pregnant for Beth. Of course, yet there was some damage to the fetus caused by her strenuous gyration. As a result of that, Beth was born with FBS, fetal bladder syndrome. You now know the truth. You know, of course, in its adult manifestation, this causes a compulsion to stop at public restrooms every 10 minutes when on a trip. Her childhood was filled with loneliness because this irritated the hell out of everybody who traveled with her. By age 9, medical researchers had estimated that Beth had spent enough time in restrooms to have memorized the Encyclopedia Britannica through volume Q, which comes after P. At the age of 10, however, hopes were raised in the family when it was learned doctors had perfected a new bladder transplant operation. The good news was that Beth qualified for this new experimental procedure, and it would be free. The bad news was the only donor they could find was a slow-footed squirrel named Roadkill, who had a bladder the size of a cranberry. I met Beth when I started dating her older sister, Mana. Beth was 13, but she seemed much older at the time. I noticed that she already smoked. She drank. And she was dating a middle-aged foreign doctor. By the way, Dr. Pack's plane has been delayed, but he'll be joining us soon. I, on the other hand, was 19. Beth immediately sized me up as poor, horny, and stupid. I appreciated that the other day she acknowledged that I was no longer horny. From what I saw over the next few years, Beth had a very rough adolescence, and she reacted very forcefully. Some of you will be astonished to learn that Beth, as a teenager, was considered loud, argumentative, rebellious, accusatory, pugnacious. How much time do I have left?
Not much, Bob, not much.
Boorish. I waited 30 years for this. Obstinate, obstreperous, and contentious. But she also learned to fight for justice and fair play. She chafed under an authoritarian atmosphere. Her parents were harsh and strict. For example, she was not allowed on school nights to have more than 5 men with criminal records in her bedroom.
Shut up, Michael.
When she turned 15, her parents ran away from home. Lana and I had just gotten married, and Beth's parents begged us to take them in. We talked it over and decided that they would do better in a shelter where the support and treatment they needed would be available. When Beth was 16, she and I grew much closer. She was failing geometry for the 3rd time, and she asked me to help her tutor her. I tutored her intensively and helped her get a D and admission to Michigan State University. We lost contact in college, but in 8 years she graduated with a bachelor's degree. With a major in criminal justice and a minor in scatology. She put her degree right to work with her first employer, 7-Eleven, where she continued for the rest of the 70s. But even there, her creativity displayed itself. She developed a new technique of pouring a Slurpee with one arm while holding a suspect in a hammerlock for the police. As you know, she went on to have a successful career with Michigan Council for Crime and Delinquency, and I think there are a lot of others here better able to tell that story.
Oh, no.
In closing, I want to congratulate Beth on the fine work she's done and wish her the best in the future. We're pleased to see the same qualities of courage and eloquence that we've always known display themselves in her work and be recognized by those she respects and loves. She's an eloquent advocate for those that often can't advocate well for themselves. On a personal note, we moved here from Detroit this summer, and there are many things we like about Lansing, but I think the thing we like best has been the strength and friendship and support that we've had from Beth and Bill. Best of luck to you.